Welcome to 60 Days Insider. I'm Dan Abrams. Tonight, we're taking an in-depth look at our Phase 2 participants' lives inside the Clark County Jail as they try to survive 60 days in.
I'm going to end up just taking somebody to school and just going crazy, and I'm probably never leaving.
We're here with Sheriff Noel, Captain Maples, and Zach and Tami, former participants from Phase 1. Chris is the first participant to leave the program in this phase. What are your thoughts about him leaving?
He had a rough time. He obviously was physically ill. He was vomiting. And I don't know what caused that, if it was anxiety of being in jail. But I think, honestly, that's probably a pretty real experience that anybody would experience when they went in.
Zach, were you surprised that Chris was effectively throwing in the towel, literally, so quickly?
I'm not really that surprised because he was as sick as he was and feeling as badly as he was. You know, it's something that's tough for anybody to deal with.
Sorry that he's gone. I just wish I could have got more feedback than what I got.
Chris, from a look standpoint, was like, you got the look down, and he seemed to have the cover story down. It was actually a pretty big shock that he didn't make it past classifications.
Tami, things seem to be really picking up steam in a bad way in FPOD. Is this similar to some of the stuff that you saw?
The all-night party atmosphere, I likened it to a sorority. Sleep all day, be awake all night. It has a lot to do with some of the girls are still detoxing, sharing meds with one another in there.
We have women's up here. Women's up here, they're good too.
It's a difficult time.
What was your strategy to avoid getting hazed?
I had an incident right off the bat where my shower shoes were taken by somebody. Did you swipe my shoes? Nobody swiped. I simply put it out there. I'm not going to let you do this to me, and that set the tone in the pod. You have to be assertive.
Give me these. I got your shoes for you.
My shoes! But those nice. That's right. You swiped them.
Ashleigh had some hazing occur to her early on.
Guys, I mean, really?
Do you like girls? Listen. Do you like girls?
Hard for you to watch that?
Yeah. Definitely. I would have traded places with Ashleigh in a heartbeat. If drugs are available and I'm an addict and I have all the time in the world on my hands, what better way to spend my time than to just go and do the drugs? But at the same time, I know how strong and how determined Ashleigh is. I mean, she quit cold turkey. So I didn't question her strength to say no to that. What I was worried about more was her having to deal with all the other things that just bombard you mentally.
I think you're so cute. So cute. Thanks, man.
All right, Zach, we're seeing some serious hazing going on at Brian here.
Hey, Brian. Can I lay with you?
The only way to get out of this is to turn it into something physical. If you put your hands on somebody, they have the right to defend themselves. Them putting their hands on him absolutely gave him the right to defend himself. That's taking it to the point of sexual assault.
I think just the fact that he did nothing made it worse.
I think that kind of worked against him by not doing anything at all.
I think in the future, we're going to make it a rule that we only bring inmates into from classification to the pod in groups.
Is this change you're talking about a direct result of seeing the previous episode?
Absolutely.
At what happened to Brian?
Absolutely.
He doesn't fit in with the normal inmates. He's not somebody who's been in and out of jail his whole life. He's used to normal social behavior, and that's not what you get in a jail.
You think that was bad? Wait till everybody goes to sleep.
In normal civilian world, if somebody new walked into a room, you're not going to go over and then start touching their face and feeling on them. It just doesn't happen. You revert to a juvenile mentality when you go into a pod.
Do you think that he was a bad choice?
Not at all. When a pod boss starts with the hazing of you,
What is this space? You're killed.
everybody else is going to join in. If Daffron hadn't keyed on him, if somebody else had keyed on him, it probably wouldn't have gone anywhere near as far as it went. But because it was Daffron, and since he's one of the, one of the major players in that pod, it went to a whole new level that it wouldn't have gone to otherwise.
So we've been talking about the horrible situation that Brian has been in. Dion, on the other hand, has had the exact opposite experience.
Dion can pretty much talk to anybody. We gave Dion a more in-depth cover story with some pretty serious charges because we believed that he could maintain it. If you watch the way he presents it, he just gives a little bit of information at a time without having to try to explain it. That's why he's doing so well.
That's when they put me over. I thought I was gonna get a little speeding ticket. All right. He like, nah, you got a warrant out of Detroit. I'm like,
They said I'm here for robbery,
Well, you hear Dion when he talks about it, he kind of, like a typical inmate would. It was just a simple traffic stop, speeding. Next thing I know, I'm going to jail. It's like he blended it well. It was all in how he carried himself, and he carried himself well.
Zach, do you think the fact that Dion has started off so strong is going to make him more capable of getting good information?
Absolutely. He's blending in incredibly well right off the bat.
so where you from?
So he's already being accepted at a level that would take somebody else a week or two to get to. He's got the potential to gather a lot of valuable information.
How important is the first moment when you walk into the pod?
As soon as you walk through the door, everybody's sizing you up. You gotta walk through with your head high, not cocky, but with the strength about yourself that, hey, you don't want to mess with me.
And Tami, it's not even about physical size as much as it is about an attitude, right?
I can attest to that, being the size that I am and going in there with much larger individuals. I mean, in the women's pod, people think that it's different, but it's certainly not, because it is all about carrying yourself with an attitude.
Well, let me just ask you, whose journey are you most looking forward to see playing out here?
You know, Zach, I kind of want to see how your wife does. I do, just knowing she's trying to deal with her own sobriety while helping other people.
I hope she can get in and help bring about change and help these other girls out without falling down herself.
Well, one of the other women there is Cherie.
No, that's... It's about if somebody's hollering, they won't come up here and whoop everybody's ass.
Captain, are you concerned that she's reaching a breaking point?
Yes, as you see, she was arguing with inmates, and it was almost that she kind of picked the fight. And with that being said, she was placed in there for a reason with a cover story, and it seems that they finally gotten to her. And it worries me that she's letting them get to her too much.